Anytime I do like a slick, like low bun, I feel like I look almost hetero. Hi everybody, it's Ted, the Buffalo Beauty Boy, and I have a bit of a confession. I'm about 3 weeks into a 6-week no buy. And I hadn't really talked about it on any platform. It was just something that I kind of did for myself. We haven't been wearing a lot of makeup lately because we're masking the pandemic, we're not going out. But I've accumulated a little bit over the last year, so just a little bit more than I'm comfortable with. So I'm gonna really try to use some things up, and that's why I've been on a no buy. However, in tandem with the no buy, I also kind of piecemealed a use it up makeup bag. So I just have some things that I really want to get some good use out of, and I guess I'm panning, but not, but kind of, I don't know. But I just have a bag of things that I would like to basically not have going into 2022. So, a little bit more than 6 months out to use up most of these products. I might report back, I might not. You'll definitely see these in some upcoming videos. But yeah, I think what I'll do is just kind of introduce the product and then use it. I won't really review or talk a whole lot about it, even though knowing me, I probably will. So I'm just gonna kind of create a look and we can chat and catch up. I did a low buy makeup bag video that I can link in the description a while ago. So if you're interested in that and just kind of seeing what I'm using, I actually think a lot of these kind of cross over because I didn't get quite as much use out of them as I would have liked to. So without making this longer than it needs to, I'm gonna get into it. I knew something was missing. So the first product that I'm really trying to use up is my Tatcha Silk Canvas Mini. And you can see I've got significant pan. I just have that little crescent left. So this one is kind of a gimme. I know I'll use it up. But what I do is I use this in certain areas. I don't love this for all over my face, but I like it where I have a little bit more texture. The second product is also kind of I'm not going to say it's a gimme because I do still have quite a bit left, but this is just such a multi-use product that I think with a handful of months dedicated to getting some good use out of it, I can, and that is the Hollywood Flawless Filter from Charlotte Tilbury. And actually, these two products together is a wonderful base for just about anything. I have the shade 1 Fair, and I probably would go for one a little bit deeper. But this is just what I have. So like I said, I kind of do the smoothing primer with the Tatcha around my eyes, my nose, and then kind of my T-zone. And then this I use on my forehead and my cheeks. And I'm pretty generous with it because I like a dewy hydrated base. And you'll see why in a minute. I just love that hydrated base. I feel like this product blurred all over my skin does what I wish the Glossier Future Dew does. This does what I wish the Glossier Future Dew did. Does that make sense? So just really healthy, hydrated, happy. Yeah, that's my go-to base combo before any sort of color, any sort of color cosmetics goes on. The next product that I really am trying to use up, and again, this is a gimme, but this is my eyeshadow primer, and I'm almost done. If I use this, every day for a week, it would be used up, but I have a whole nother one. So I just really want to get this one out. I'm having trouble squeezing it up, so I don't know if I'm counting this one, but I'm going to put this all over my eyelids. I've been loving doing all of my priming before I start doing anything else lately. I've been finding if you get your primer set and really kind of baked into the skin, it just, you get a little bit more life out of your look. So, but yeah, the Smashbox 24-hour eye primer is nothing new. I talk about it pretty much all the time. It's the only eye primer that I've ever religiously used. And I think it's probably the only one I've ever mentioned on my channel. So if you have oily, heavy hooded eyes, this is a friend to you. So now that I've got that base all taken care of, the two products that I feel like are gonna present a challenge to me are these Hourglass sticks. So I have the Hourglass Vanish Stick Foundation in the shade Bisque, and then I have the Hourglass Vanish Highlight in the shade Champagne Flash. You definitely get more foundation than highlighter. However, these are just so massive, and the formula, like, you don't need a lot, but you can use a lot, and they're super expensive. So these have been kicking around in my collection for quite a while. And within a year or so, I don't feel comfortable using them. So I want to try to get good use out of them, because it's no secret that I have sordid feelings about Hourglass. I desperately wish that they would be more inclusive in their shade ranges. And then I also wish that they would just acknowledge that they haven't been. I feel like Hourglass has really kind of gone unscathed in that, they've never expressed anything to my knowledge about being inclusive or anything like that. I feel like they filled the household luxury clean name. Like, that was the market that they filled. Like, most people know about Hourglass, even if they're not particularly well versed in clean beauty or high-end makeup. I feel like Hourglass is a household name. They're clean, they're high-end, and they just kind of stopped there. They felt like that was enough, which I have no proof. If anybody can find any information about Hourglass acknowledging not being inclusive or whatever, please send it my way. I am very curious. And again, Hourglass, these products are beautiful. They're so nice, but I don't feel comfortable recommending them to my subscribers because I know that they don't have a shade for everybody. Their powders are incredible. Their blushes, their highlights are divine. I think those are probably universal. Like, there are shades for most people, but their foundations, their cream products, I don't think so. But this is the Vanish Stick Foundation. And when I first got it, it took me a while to figure out how to use. It's a very heavy coverage, which I don't typically go for. And this is why I have a little bit of confidence that I can use it up, is the way that I apply it. So what I do is I do a good, healthy, swiping on the back of my hand. And when I feel like I've got a good enough bit, what I've been loving doing is mixing it with the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. So I take a little bit more of this and I just kind of roll and swipe. And these two together give me such a beautiful dewy finish, and it really just works for my skin. So I take them on the back of my hand and I start to kind of mix it together. And I'm using my EcoTools biodegradable sponge. And I kind of work it in with my fingers just to get a base layer on. And then I go in with my sponge. I kind of soak up everything off the back of my hand. And then I go in. And this really shears down that heavy coverage foundation, leaving you with a pretty decent amount of coverage and finish that isn't so matte. So now that I've got that very light base layer all over, now I can start to go in and create a cheek look. But what I like to do is I go in with the Vanish Highlight. And I've been really enjoying, again, swiping this on and almost creating like a palette that I can start to spotlight with. Like, I'll go in and I'll carve out a highlight before I do any sort of bronzing or blush action. So with, you know, the little real estate that I have left on my hand, I really go in and swirl this. And I mean, it definitely does waste some product, but I'm not super thrilled about these anymore. I've had them for a very long time and I've gotten some really good use out of them, but I just would like to use it up. So I'm not purposely trying to waste product because I do get the result that I like from this method, but it's not the most demure way to apply product. But I find when I sheer out that foundation, if I go in over top with the highlight, like just stick straight, it gets very blinding very quickly. And I would prefer to build that. So I kind of create a glow using just my finger in the places that I want. It's just such a healthy base layer. You know, I don't need a whole lot more. It doesn't completely make me look ghostly, but it does kind of even my skin tone down and just create a little bit of softness. So I might blend my chin a little bit more because I have a beard. But yeah, so using those two products, I get a very dewy, soft base, which is what I'm about. And when I first got them, I wasn't able to create this. I had to really figure that out. But what those products kind of got me thinking about is, in my head, I've been calling it the beauty contract. So when you buy a product, you say like, hey, this is $50, and that's $50 of my money that I'm going to purchase this item with. And this item I'm going to use on my face, and it's going to be in my life for the entire time that it takes me to use it up, or when I get rid of it. So almost like you're entering a contract with the item. Like, hey, I'm choosing you. I'm going to keep you until you no longer serve me. Does that make sense? Am I rambling? Probably. But yeah, just I'm asking myself when I'm purchasing things, okay, what's my beauty contract with this? So for something like the Hourglass Scattered Light Shadow that was $30 some odd, when I bought it, I've gotten really good use out of it. I have nowhere near hitting pan. I'm nowhere near creating a dip, but I've used it enough times that I definitely feel like it's worth the dollars. But Hourglass is not a brand that I'm really into anymore. So I want to get more use out of it. I don't feel comfortable like selling it. I could probably give it to a friend, but I've had it in my life for a year and a half, and I'll probably have it in my life for another year and a half. So when I think of the beauty contract, I'm like, okay, this is $30, but it's also going to be 3 years of my life as an item that I'm keeping. Does that make sense? That's kind of how I've been looking at things like that. So, just a little something that I've noticed, a kind of a shift in my consumption of beauty. I ask myself, what is the beauty contract? You know, something like makeup has a longer beauty contract than my Dr. Teal's bath salts, because one bag is $5 and I get anywhere between 3 and 8 baths depending on how extra I'm being. Just kind of thinking about the beauty contract has helped me to kind of stick to my no-buy and helped me really understand what it means to take something into my collection and use it. So, I just opened this and I didn't even talk about it. The next one that I'm trying to get some really good use out of is the RMS Baruti Bronzer. Again, RMS, I love them. Their formulas are great. Love a luxury clean moment, but they just don't have the shade range that I would love. I don't feel super comfortable using this a ton and being like, oh my God, best bronzer ever. Because if somebody who has deeper skin than me or doesn't like the finish of this, they can't go and purchase something very similar. So this, I've actually hit pan on. Like you can see the glass in the bottom a little bit, but just something that I would like to try to get more use out of. I've got a good dip. I've got the bottom. I don't think it's something that it's not going to take me 10 years to like feel like I got its money's worth, but definitely one that I would like to get a little bit more use out of. So I actually am using this to kind of contour. What I do is I take, I just kind of dip my finger in. Because it's hot, it's a little bit more emollient, but I kind of work it in the areas that I would typically contour. And this is a very red toned bronzer. So if you don't love a dewy bronzer and B, a red tone, this is not gonna be for you. I take just a big fluffy brush. You can really see A, how much it spreads, and B, just how red toned it is. Like, this is not a tone that I think would work for many people. I almost like don't think it really works for me a whole lot, but I enjoy it. What I like is that I can kind of back myself out of trouble with this. It's not one that I feel like gets too, like, it's not set in stone once you use it. Like, I know that this looks bananas right now, but if I take my beauty blender and just kind of scale it back, see, we're starting to look like a person. But I do feel like that's kind of a lot of work to do for a bronzer, in my opinion. Like, I feel like I shouldn't have to worry about using too much. Does that make sense? I don't know. All right. The next product that I am trying to get more use out of is my YSL Touche Eclat. Ooh, I got a hair. I like this under my eye. It's not a whole lot of coverage, which is perfect for me. I think this is great for somebody who isn't super comfortable wearing a ton of makeup. This hair. So I think it's great for somebody that's not super comfortable wearing a ton of makeup or doesn't have a lot of color correcting that they need to do or anything like that. And it's just so expensive. I bought this, you know, because in my head, I would use it and become Zoe Kravitz or, you know, like a hot French girl. Zoe Kravitz isn't French, but you get the vibe, you know? You know what I mean? And it's really good, but it's not that good. You know, it's not $50 good. I like it, but I'm not like, it didn't change my life. It didn't make me a hot French girl. It's just all right. You know? And I like to use my finger. I feel like because it is kind of a thinner formula and because it is very light coverage, I think if you use too much, if you use a brush or a sponge, it picks up too much of the product, in my opinion. But you can see it really does brighten underneath the eyes. It really does just give a wonderful reflection without being heavy. I kind of bob it down my nose and then like cover. I don't know. I'm fussy with my under eyes. If it looks too like bright and tidy, I almost a little bit feel like it makes me look like a soccer mom. I don't know. I don't know. That's just how I feel. The next product that I'm trying to get some really good use out of and just kind of push out of my collection is this Pat McGrath single eyeshadow in the shade Celestial. And this is only like 12 bucks. I've had it for a while and I've got a good dip. I think if I use it pretty consistently, I can hit pan, but this is a great shade for just all over. It kind of melts into any look. It's nice and shimmery. I'm kind of running out of real estate here, but I guess I can swatch it. The only thing that I will say is it's very powdery. Like, I get a ton of fallout. I have to really like swirl and then clean my brush off. But you can see it right there. It's just really shifty. Radiant. And I like that champagne gold. I feel like it just brings my eyes out really well. And, you know, Pat McGrath, come on. Mother Pat. Her formulas are just impeccable. And with a shade like this, I like to bring it all the way up to my eyebrow, because of my eye shape. When you have heavily hooded eyes, bringing a shimmer up helps really open your eye. And because this is so fleshy and soft, I just kind of go dummy with it, which is another reason that I feel like I can use it up in a timely manner. The reason is just I don't really reach for like potted singles a lot. So this is just kind of kicking around, and I have, ColourPop ones that I feel like do just as good a job, but that really does just kind of add a little something to the look. The next one that I'm trying to use up and get out of my collection is the Glossier Lash Slick. I got this because I was never somebody that loved mascara historically. If I put too much on, I feel like it elevates my look in a way that I don't love. It makes anything that I'm doing look very done. So I am not I'm picky with mascara, but it's not something that I seek out a ton. My favorite is the Monsieur Big in the shade brown, not the shade black. Brown mascara till I die. This is black, but it's so soft and it's hard to use too much. I actually think the formula doesn't lend itself to using a lot. Like, it's not one that I feel like you can glob up the way that you can with the Monsieur Big, because it's not very volumizing. It says that it's a tubing mascara, which I never notice like tubes coming off, but it doesn't flake, it doesn't smudge. It helps me just have a little bit of definition. So I'm trying to use it up. It's not my favorite, but I don't dislike it. And when I put mascara on, I try to keep it on the outer half and really just at that root. Like, I don't comb through. I just try to kind of wiggle. And I might kind of roll and curl and then flick and push it up. Does that make sense? So you can see it just adds a little bit of drama, but not a massive amount. I mean, I feel like this is maybe a good problem to have, but if I use a mascara that's too lengthening, my eyelashes will touch my eyelid, which is not my favorite thing. So I just like a little bit of that. And I've been using this for a really long time. It's on its way out, so this is kind of one that I feel like is a little bit of a gimme as well. And the there's still a couple, but the brow product that I'm trying to use up is the Charlotte Tilbury Legendary Brows. This is fine. I almost never feel like there's anything too dark for my brows. If it says it's brunette, that's usually what I use, even though I'm a blonde. But this is a very like liquidy formula. And the spoolie is very tiny. So it's just not the easiest to work with. And again, for a brow mascara, gel, pomade, this mechanism, I prefer them because I like them to be easy. Watch, now I'm doing this and it's like dried out enough that it's a wonderful formula, but no, I'm being dramatic. It's not bad, but it's not, number one for me. I feel like it can get a little smudgy, but it was very expensive, so I'm trying to use it. I'm perpetually on the hunt for not even something necessarily cheaper than Boy Brow, but something bigger than Boy Brow. Like, I wish they came out with like Big Boy Brow. Glossier, Emily Weiss, if you're watching this, I got you. I would love to be the thick, chubby Boy Brow ambassador when you bring out the Boy Brow double size. we'll say. I feel like that's everything that I want. So I'm trying to use up the Charlotte Tilbury Legendary Brows, and this is what it looks like. Cameras are weird, lighting is weird. It does look very dark on camera, but in real life it's not jarring, but it definitely is a little bit darker than I would like, if that makes sense. Is one of my favorite products ever, and I don't know why I don't show this enough love on my channel, but it is the Kira Weiss Cream Blush in the shade Desired Glow. Whew. Man, we love her. I got this when I was in Toronto. And you can see I've got a good amount of pan, but I would like to hit like pan, you know what I mean? I just really want to get some great use out of this because I've had it for about a year. It doesn't feel like it's going off in any way, but I just love this. And Kira Weiss is a phenomenal brand. I'm very curious about their foundation shades as well. I haven't used their foundation, but it looks divine. And this is just my favorite, like, summer glow. It really melts into the skin, adds a ton of liveliness, and it's probably my dream color. Like, if I had to pick one color blush to wear for the rest of my life, this would probably be it. Because I can build it up, and if I put it the way that I am, it gets a little bit dramatic. And I'm just using my finger. I feel like the theme with most of this is that I just use my finger, which is kind of funny because I'm not somebody that feels like that's my makeup style. But, you know, I think in the summertime it is though. Like in the summertime, I just love using like a cream product and kind of dabbing and putting it on. And because I have that highlighter underneath, it really does just look like healthy, happy skin. Dab a little across the nose as well. Maybe, let's go in. We'll put a little on the forehead. So that's my, like, you know, everyday moment. A soft cream cheek, medium coverage base, very dewy, very glowy. We love her. The next two products, the last two products that I'm really trying to use up and get out of my collection are two lip products. And one of them is the NYX lip liner in the shade Nude Suede Shoes. I never say it right the first time. So I've made some good progress on this. I don't think this will take me a whole lot of time to use up, but we're gonna try. And then the last one is the Glossier Play Pour One Out, rest in peace, she's gone. But the Glossier Play Vinylic Lip in the shade Pony. And actually, Amanda Z turned me onto this product. I was very not concerned with the Vinylic lips. And then she recommended it probably like a year ago, and she said it's her like go-to. So I've picked it up and I've gotten some decent use out of it, but not a whole lot. But I would just like to wear this because it's very comfortable. It's very easy to wear, very easy to reapply, especially if you pair it with a liner. So I'm gonna pop these on and then we'll do some kind of final thoughts. So in not so harsh lighting, this is the final look. Very dewy and bright, but easy. I feel like it transitions really well from day to night. If I wanted to smoke out the eye, I very easily could, and that would just be so good. But again, just very radiant, which I prefer. I don't have oily skin, so I like this finish, but if you do have oily skin, I imagine it would probably be kind of a lot. So these are the products that I'm trying to push out of my collection within the next 6 months or so. I don't know if I'm calling this like a project pan or even really a project, but it's just kind of something that I'm doing. As far as like actual panning content that I follow, no one does it like my girl Kyla Fish, man. If you're looking for some good like inspiration to use it up, some good panning, some, you know, just a general like amazing, wonderful person, check out Kyla. I will link her. Kyla is just so sweet. She, I don't know if I've like told her this, but we chat all the time on Instagram. I feel like she's like my little sister. Like, I feel like I just want to like go to the mall and like hang out and like, I don't know, like she's just such an amazing person. She's so wonderful. Yeah, so that's, you know, I can't show her enough love. Definitely check her out. But yes, these are the handful of products. I think there's 10, maybe there's 11 because of the lip liner, whatever. These are the handful of products that are living in my Use It Up makeup bag. And I am super excited to share them with you. What products are you currently in a beauty contract with? What products are you trying to use up and get out of your collection? And if you have any like panning, use it up content that you'd like to share with me, absolutely let me know either here or on Instagram. But I hope that you are all taking amazing care of yourselves. I hope that if it's sunny where you are, you get to enjoy some sunshine. I hope that you're wearing a mask, staying safe, staying hydrated, and most importantly, I hope you know that you're made of gold. So until next time.